No, it's only city
Well,
two.
I'll tell you what though, Vic. The biggest thing, left collar. But no, on your shirt. There you go.
I know, Dad, because these are guys that I hang out
Well, yeah, but I'll tell you something. It is when you watch club soccer versus high school, it is night and day. It is so frustrating to watch.
What's frustrating?
Oh, how they move the ball. The whole entire thing. Because, what?
Why are you in club instead of high school?
Okay, well, a lot of kids didn't grow up playing club. They just went into high school and they were good enough to make it, whether it's their freshman or sophomore team, and then they keep moving them up. Now, we were lucky this year because we have 6 of our seniors that actually play club soccer. They still play in the same Gallagher team.
Okay.
So,
I got it.
but see, like when, okay, so here's a for instance. When Kellen's buddies come.
Good morning, guys. We're having a soccer conversation.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Oh,
Good
yeah,
morning,
sorry,
Ben.
I forgot we were on.
No, I just was frustrated because I was told again that all the best kids in Missouri are not playing high school soccer.
Oh, most of them aren't, and it's so
that screws state championships. It's not real.
Yeah. Well, like I said, we're lucky because we have a good core group of kids that are on the same Scott Gallagher team. But like when Nolan and Kellen's buddies from there, because they both play club soccer, right? So when their buddies come watch them play high school and they don't play high school yet, it's like especially like a lot of Kellen's friends because he's so young, and they're like this, they're like watching the game and they're like,
no, I know.
And they're like, it's totally different.
I know. I'm frustrated with soccer in the state of Missouri.
Yeah. I'm frustrated with the refs in the state of
I know.
Missouri.
Ben says happy belated birthday. It was Megan's birthday yesterday. People want to send her birthday wishes.
You're so sweet.
They can. And yes, it's not only high school refs for soccer. Here's the thing. People constantly say, or Misha and organizations say, you got to be nice to the refs. And yes, you do. The refs get paid some decent money, but refs also need to be able to take their job serious enough to make good calls. It's a catch-22. There's been a ref shortage for football in the state of Missouri because refs don't want to do it and they get tired of being yelled at by parents.
Mm-hmm.
But what causes the yelling? It's terrible officiating. Terrible officiating.
Yeah.
And guess what? Another weekend, you had a game this weekend where you had a local team that should have lost, that was ranked number 1, and they had an official who called a touchdown that was not a touchdown, not even close, and he wasn't even in position.
Mm-hmm.
If he was in position, and it's easy. That's not even a mental thing. It's where you go. And it cost a team their win.
Well, yeah.
Parkway North should have beat Lutheran North. And I felt bad for those kids because this is what and guess what also dictates? Scholarships get dictated on those calls because you don't get to play as long. It's just, that's where, so I only bring that up because you said officiating, high school officiating. If there was a way to fix it, it would be great. I do feel for officials. I do. But officials, whatever the sport is, you work with other people who don't know what they're doing.
And hey, maybe a missed call every once in a while. I get it. You're human. But when it is so obvious, the team that you want to win, and they do, I mean, you can't not say, I mean, he could have, I'm sure he doesn't have like someone as close as a son going to the other team, but there's, they have an affection for a certain team, and our state championship, this game, the affection was not for our team. It was for the other team, and it was over and over and over. And we had a PK, or we had a penalty in our goal, in the other guy's goal box, and they didn't against us, and he didn't give it. I mean, it was, I can't even go back there because I'm surprised I'm not hoarse from yelling at the ref the entire game.
I'm praying that my son's team doesn't get homered.
I know.
They made the state semi-football finals.
I know. Congrats.
And that's so a big deal.
Big deal.
For them. So they play in Kansas City this weekend. So we'll see.
It's exciting.
I have learned to just bite my tongue, and I pray that I'm just like, I all good, all positive when it comes to officiating.
I'm the mom with the cowbell and the loud mouth at the refs. That's me. But yeah, we lost in PKs, and my youngest is a goalie, and my dad was a goalie, and my dad's on the left side of me, and we're both just like this. We just couldn't look. I mean, it was awful. I told you on Friday, The team before us
Mhm.
getting into Friday's game, they went into PKs, and I was like, oh my gosh, I feel for these guys so much. But
I just
know.
wish Misha would figure it out.
Yeah, I do too. I really do.
So that all the kids can play.
Yeah. So Kellen was.
Is that a Misha rule, or is that the clubs that don't let them play high school?
It's a club, because we're trying to.
It's watering down. Like when I grew up in St. Louis, winning a state soccer championship was a huge deal, and it still is.
Mhm.
But all the best players were playing. Now all the best players aren't playing in the state of Missouri. They're not.
Yeah.
They're on these club teams and these upper echelon deals. So they're not even playing for DeSmet or CBC or SLU or Vianney.
Yeah.
Or
well, and the thing is too, Vic, what's going to happen is these clubs that are not allowing these kids to play for their high school that are multi-sport athletes, they're going to figure out, because that's the only reason why mine doesn't want to play at that level, because then he can't play lacrosse either. And he loves lacrosse. And he's not going to give up soccer, or give up lacrosse and soccer at high school just to play soccer at that level. So.
Sorry if you're just joining us. This is Cancel This. We're talking soccer, high school stuff. Sorry.
Yes. But it's a good conversation to have. Who knows who's listening? Maybe.
You never know.
Maybe we're trying to push it here. Come on, people, figure it out. I don't know if Megan is listening, but happy birthday to her as well. Did you spoil her or do anything special?
Her birthday was Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
Your birthday was yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Maybe you should ask her.
Yes. Meg, are you there?
No, she's probably working. Alrighty. Would you put Graham in a club for football if they had such thing, if they got him better opportunities? Here's the problem. Probably, but it's not an apples to apples comparison. It's not the same for that sport. There's no way that they could do it. Appreciate you jumping in for the show before the show. Cancelthisshow.com.
Good morning, Donna. Who'd you like in football yesterday, guys?
What do you mean, who'd you
NFL.
like? I don't understand the question.
Who did you want to win?
Oh, Lions all the time.
Well, yeah, but did you watch any of the other games?
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know.
Giants?
Nothing really moved me, if that makes sense. You? What about you? What'd you do for your birthday? Did you watch football for your birthday?
No, you guys. My whole weekend's been a blur. I mean, it was just, I feel like I lived outside. So I felt like I was freezing cold the whole weekend. My eyes were swollen from the cold wind. Woke up, started my birthday, taught John 1 to my kids at church bright and early. Came home, did some of my college kids' laundry, got stuff ready, had the family over for dinner. I share a birthday with my niece as well. I don't know what's going on. I cannot get this to connect, Joe. But yeah, it was a wonderful day.
Good.
Just good family stuff. But I could go for like a 3.5 hour massage. Thank you.
Joe, you can start the show, buddy.
I can wait. You can start it and
What's going on? I don't care.
We need a little tape.
Are you looking to elevate your brand's presence? Partner with Cancel This Show with myself, Vic Faust, and my co-host,
Megan Marie. We're ranked in the top 10% globally.
Our show has reached over 1.68 million engaged listeners, and we continue to grow monthly.
Podcasting is one of the best ways to advertise
because it offers a highly engaged audience, SEO-targeted reach,
and the ability to build a personal connection with listeners.
Dive into the dynamic world of cancel culture, politics, all current events, and the latest news with us.
It's the American taxpayers that are having to pay for all of this monkey business left and right.
Look at all of these pictures. They are using AI to generate fake photos, and we show you them. And Joe will show, we got a video of one, we've got certain pictures.
They were hiding the fact and trying to lie to the American people for months that Joe Biden was doing well.
This is Kamala. This is Joe Biden. It's Barack Obama. It's Jake Sullivan, all together doing anything and everything they can to strike back at Donald Trump because he continues to kick their ass.
If that doesn't make you mad enough to vote one way or another in this election, nothing will do it.
Get your company's voice heard, your brand recognized,
and the exposure you deserve.
Does your brand align with our mission?
Let's talk and make an impact together. Hey guys, welcome into Cancel This, canceltheshow.com. I'm Vic Faust. That's Megan Marie Moret. Not seen. Pro Joe in the house. I think we're going to have to redo that intro, Joe. We're like past that intro now. We're getting to that point.
Yeah, unbelievably.
We're going to put a bunch of Trump all over the place,
It
baby.
is definitely time.
Yep.
I know. We're going to have to do that. Welcome into our show. On this November 25th, that is Thanksgiving week, we talked. I think we're going to go Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday this week, guys, for our shows. And then we'll be off Thursday, Friday. So pass the word along Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, 9 a.m. to 10 a.m.-ish. About that time. We're grateful you're with us. Megan Marie Moret's birthday was yesterday.
Yes.
She turned 41. Happy 41.
Thank you so
I don't even think you look
much.
that. So that's pretty cool.
Thank you.
I hope you don't mind me telling your birthday and your age
it's okay.
on the show.
I mean, I wish you wouldn't, but that's all right.
Okay. It's all good.
Just don't do it next year.
You don't look a day over 32.
Mhm. Thank you very much.
And that's even me because we know you have older kids. So that was, yeah.
I started when I was
It's all right.
10.
There's nothing wrong with it. It's all right. That's all right.
I probably shouldn't say that.
Yeah, I know.
Starting rumors.
That's all right. I led you down that road. Anyway, we're glad that you're here with us today. Like, subscribe, share the show. If there's something on your mind, let us know if you want to talk about it. The People's Platform is there for you. You can jump in on Facebook, X as well. And you can watch us on Rumble. Our shows are played the next day on YouTube as well. And of course, we're putting content up on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook as well. We are grateful for there. Lots of happy birthdays to you. Just a day after your birthday. So hopefully that was good. Everybody enjoys their birthday, or at least they should enjoy their birthday. It was another quiet weekend with politics for the most part when it comes to that. We cover a lot of politics and news headlines. I just, one thing that was on my mind, I didn't bring it up for you yet, but there was a young boy, a 16-year-old. Did you hear about the hockey player that we broadcast out of the St. Louis area, but it's the whole needless violence on the road, shots being fired. Hockey player from CBC in the St. Louis area shot in his neck on 55 South over the weekend. They were in the middle of a gun battle happening on 55 South. 16-year-old hockey player from CBC in critical condition, trying to get a bullet out of his neck. I know. I think his name was Colin Brown. I just hate to hear those stories that are happening around the country. So
prayers for him and his family for sure.
And yeah, the other thing on last week we were on too, a woman who was killed was targeted.
Yeah. It
was a drug deal. Something bad. Don't mess with drugs.
Yeah.
It's they knew each other. Something went bad and you hate it. And, once again, kids have now lost their mom, and she had adopted kids. And that's why you try to do and teach people to stay out of the drug industry, because bad things happen there. Bad.
You are correct about that.
So anyway, we still have President Biden. He's still the president. Did you know that?
Who?
Yeah, Biden.
Oh,
Last week, I mean, he's still continuing to give us gems, which will go down as the worst presidency in the history of our country. And as much as we look forward, we show you Joe Biden because Joe Biden continues to be Joe Biden to the very last day. This is why I don't know what's happening behind the scenes that we don't see, but watch him get confused again. They were honoring the Boston Celtics because they won the championship last year, and he called them by the wrong name.
2024 NBA champions, the Bulls. You're Celtics, right?
He calls them the
2024
Bulls. Listen to this.
NBA champions, the Bulls. You're Celtics, right?
Wait, did he call them the balls? Maybe.
2024 NBA champions, the Bulls.
oh my gosh.
Celtics, right?
And they laugh and they go along with it.
Well, it's because the NBA.
I mean,
But I guarantee most of those black men, because we all know that blacks love Trump, despite what little evil liberal elves may tell you, they don't.
I mean,
blacks
how
blacks
hard
brought
was it to
President Trump to
remember that?
presidency, which is amazing,
Why
and
don't-
young people.
Why do they still and keep inviting him and allowing him to go out and talk? I don't understand.
Nobody's in control of him anymore.
Well, I mean,
And I think he's pissed
I-
because of everything else that's going on.
I don't know that the NBA will ever, invite him back for anything ever again. That was super embarrassing. I mean, but we're not surprised.
Once again, the worst presidency in the history of this country with the most embarrassing person. Just remember, there were people who wanted him to still be president, but it's all kind of falling apart.
Yeah, it
Even
is.
Bill Clinton. I mean, it's like they're all like turning the fingers on each other now and running for the hills and not trying to be mean. It's just, it's so damn sad to say. Here's Bill Clinton explaining why he thought Trump was going to win. Now everybody wants to disassociate themselves. It's all right. You can disassociate yourself from all of the BS that you see with the Democratic Party and come on over to the right side.
I can't say I was surprised. I had the feeling all along that at the end, this thing might break one way or the other, and all the so-called swing states would vote together because the last 2, 3, 4% were actually pretty much alike. At least this time, there is no question that he actually won both the popular vote and the electoral college. And when he won before, he lost the popular vote and only won the electoral college because of the late intervention of James Comey. And I think the false presentation of the email issue. There's been a lot of change for people to digest. A lot of economic adversity and upheaval, a lot of political upheaval, a lot of social developments. And if you think about it, some of the votes that happened in the last election are people who are just exhausted by uncertainty and tired of carrying it around. And that always helps the right.
Love it. Donald Trump even winning over Bill Clinton. See, they knew it. Everybody knew that he was the best candidate, but they still tried to get you to believe something, which is why Megan's always saying, remember what happened, because as bad as the media is, they're going to continue to try to play with your mind and everything else. Even Bill Clinton knew that this wasn't the Democratic Party. The Democratic Party's in shambles. They know it. And many of them that don't say it are just in pride right now. But how about Bill? Hey, Megan.
Hey, what about Bill and his outfit? He almost looked like he was like from like the cowboy days,
What?
like in a saloon with
You
the
don't
brown on brown on brown.
You don't like my cowboy look. That doesn't get you excited.
Oh yeah.
Monica liked my gun.
Did he have the same? I wonder if he had the same vaccine as Bobby Kennedy.
No,
That voice.
No, I've always
I
had
think he's
that.
just tired.
Women thought it was sexy. Just leave me alone.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
All right, Bill Clinton, ladies and gentlemen, joining us this morning to talk about Donald Trump, because once again, now we're starting to get a lot of the truth that's coming out.
Yes.
Love it too.
Well, and I think a lot of the Democrats, including Bill Clinton, I think that they were like, you know what, let's give Kamala a shot. Because They didn't really know a lot about her anyway, because she was kind of off to the side anyway. They never talked about her. They never had her talk. And so it was almost like kind of like having like a surprise visitor come to the house. Like, oh, surprise. And here I am. And then they're like, oh boy.
I
Here
disagree.
she goes.
You know, I disagree. That's certainly
Why?
one point. I disagree. I think Democrats were told you're accepting her because we're not having any votes for her, as we saw with the primary.
Yeah. Well, they had to.
No, because that came
Yes.
down from the top.
Mhm.
This is our candidate. This is our candidate. You understand? Wink, wink. Nobody, we're not going to have any votes.
Yeah.
She's our, but regardless.
Well, she was a complete letdown.
Thank you, Bill
for the
Clinton.
Democrats, which is fine because and it just shows in the numbers, like he just said, electoral and popular vote. Donald Trump was the guy.
By the way, Donald Trump, this is what's insane. Do you know that there's still voting going on? There's still counting going on.
So ridiculous.
Guys, there's still counting going on. Donald Trump, please make it an executive order to make sure that there is voting and somehow, some way done in it. How about even 2 days?
Mhm. It's unbelievable.
The counting is still going on, but guess what? Donald Trump has surpassed 77 million legitimate votes. I repeat, 77 legitimate votes. And I still think it's higher than that. Legitimate.
Oh, I'm sure.
This is record breaking. It is astounding. So his incredible display on the election continues to get better as somehow, some way they continue to count votes. But it's 77 million. That's amazing.
You know, and I love what Elon Musk said about the election, the 2024
I didn't
election.
know.
Yeah, he's
What did
like,
he say?
how can India count 640 million votes in one day completely accurately, and we're still doing this?
Thank you, Elon.
I mean, it just makes no sense at all. I mean, I don't know why anybody's surprised, though. We said that we were going to be a few weeks into this and there was going to be people still clowning
This is too
around.
long.
Yeah.
It's too long.
It's
way too long
yeah.
for
Well,
this still to be going on.
Trump's in, so keep counting if you want to. It's not going to change anything.
Over 77 million votes. Congratulations, Donald.
Yeah.
It gets better and better, which I think is freaking awesome. And Donald Trump also, and I'm sorry, Megan, at this point in time, Governor Tim Scott of South Carolina has not been nominated for any cabinet picks, but Donald Trump in record time, has got 18 picks already.
Yes,
This is insane how fast he has put things together. Here's a look at all of his picks and his cabinets. For you watching, you can see it. Obviously, most of the people there, he had some more people over the weekend that he started to put in place when it came to, different cabinet positions, things that he was trying to put together. You had Surgeon General over the weekend. You had the Attorney General on Friday, PM Bondi. So anyway, you get a look at the 18, and what you see at the 18 is it's very unmisogynistic.
Very.
It's not all white men. That's for sure. I mean, it's very ethnic, lots of quality and different kind of picks, which is freaking awesome. Donald Trump gets things done. You were 100% right, Kimberly. And that's why he put it together. Under 18 days, maybe?
Yeah, he went.
It's record time. This is what Donald Trump does. He gets things done. Mitch says he counts 27. Maybe there's 27. I don't know. I thought he had 27 in 18 days, maybe. That's what it was. But thank you, Mr. President. He knows what he's going to do. Once again, he continues to talk about what he's going to do and get those things done.
Right. And I heard over the weekend too.
And no Tim Scott. I'm sorry.
Maybe it's going to come out. Something
There's nothing. It's already done.
I know, something extra special. It's going to be extra special.
DoorDash guy. Somebody's got to be in charge of DoorDash.
I thought you were going to say somebody's got to eat.
Well, they all have to eat, but maybe he can be in charge of DoorDash.
Well, no, Tim, please don't do DoorDash. Whatever you do, I know that there's a special place for you with Trump. There's going to be. It's going to be something.
But here's the thing. Maybe it's just that Trump doesn't feel like he's good enough for any of the positions. Maybe he didn't want it. So that's the spin I'll put on it. Maybe he doesn't want to be a part of it. Maybe he likes being governor of South Carolina.
Well, and we need good governors. That's for sure, especially right now when we're trying to turn this country around. I mean, you've got to be able to govern. I mean,
Yeah.
you can be a mayor, you can be a senator, but to govern the people it's a completely different story. So maybe, yeah, if Tim wants to stay where he's at, I will support that 100%. But if not, I'm here for that too. That's for sure. But over the weekend, I heard a lot of Democrats actually on mainstream media just saying too, what we kind of talked about last week is that Donald Trump he's going in and he's appointing the people that have been by him. Oh, we didn't even talk about MTG.
Not yet.
Okay. Well, and that he's not going after the typical, bureaucrats, and he's going in and he's finding people that have been by him, stood by him, spoke for him, stuck up for him, and those are the people that you want. You want loyal people. You don't want people that have been swimming in the swamp for years and years and years.
But how excited were you for MTG,
Oh,
Marjorie
man.
Taylor Greene?
That's all I asked for was her and Tim Scott.
Well, you got her.
I know, I got her. So it's a 50-50.
But and one of the reasons Trump said he gave her a position was because of her loyalty.
That's right.
Absolute loyalty.
Yes.
Which I thought was pretty damn interesting. So
yeah,
I was like, oh,
she's
okay.
put herself out there on the line for him with no ulterior motive except for to say what was right. And she, goes after Congress all the time, in his favor. And in not just Donald Trump's favor, but just a lot of different issues, a lot of the woke issues that have come up. She has really been outspoken on.
But isn't she, I thought she is working with, I'm trying to remember the exact title of her position though.
With Elon.
It's with Elon and Vivek.
Yeah. So she's going to basically be what, like, I don't want to call it like a subsidiary, but like a,
DoorDash person.
No, she's not bringing them food. She is
coffee.
No.
Oh, okay.
No. She's
MTG,
basically like
workout.
She's
workout
like an
queen.
addition, like an arm to the Doge.
I thought she would have been perfect with RFK Jr. because she is all into her CrossFitting.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I thought she would have been.
Can you
working in the
imagine
health
her
department.
though as press secretary? Can you imagine how? Oh my gosh.
And Chris wants to remind us you don't want Tim Scott anywhere near the cabinet because he is an undercover deep state individual. So yeah. I know Chris does a lot of work. I've seen him post.
Chris, you and I agree on most things. I don't.
But I'm just telling you, there had to be a reason why Tim Scott did not get selected when he was so front and center.
But listen, why did Trump, after he made it through the primary, he was going to be who was going to run, and he kept Tim Scott by his side. He kept him tight. It was Burgum. It was him. It was Vivek. He kept him around. Because sometimes you need to keep your enemies closer than your friends. Oh gosh, here we go. No, I'm not falling for it.
Well, he's not in. He got no consideration. His name was never mentioned. Had to be a reason. Chris, you finally gave it to us.
No, Chris.
Not that we should care. Everybody, this country's moving forward without him.
We'll talk about this
but I'm
later,
telling
Chris.
you, that Trump knows. No. He's been through it once.
Well, hey, let's not get too deep into this
conspiracy
yet.
He did not make a mistake.
Let's wait. We've got until January 20th.
I don't know if she has to resign as a congresswoman. I don't think she does.
She doesn't.
She can assist. Mm-hmm. She is going to assist them, which would be really cool. I love it. Yeah. The whole aspect of that and everything that's going on. When you talk about the picks, this is what's great. Okay, Matt Gaetz obviously pulled out last week of consideration for AG, and that was fine. And then just like that, Trump had already shown who the deep state senators are because it made them show their hand. It was a brilliant freaking move by Donald Trump and Matt Gaetz because it showed you can't trust these senators, which is what I've been saying for 2 weeks. We need to know anything and everything about who the deep state Republican senators are, the Republicans. It was brilliant, absolutely brilliant. And then who does he bring in? Even a bigger bulldog with more law chops than Matt Gaetz, Pam Bondi. And listen to this. This is what's great. MSNBC doesn't like her because she's too good. She's too good.
Listen to this closely. This is unbelievable.
Pam Bondi is exactly what I was saying in the last segment that we should all fear, because she's competent. We may not agree with her ideologically, but she actually knows how to do this job. So if anyone on the Democratic side or anyone who cared about liberty or justice was thinking, well, maybe Matt Gaetz will screw this up and that'll give us some time. No, Pam Bondi knows what she's doing. She knows what she's doing about immigration. Remember, Florida is one of those states that's been very aggressive about migrants and deportation and moving people to different states and everything else like that. Florida has enacted all sorts of rules and laws to curtail students and what they can do on campuses and finding legal justifications for manipulating education money. She is a dangerous and effective pick, and that's frankly worse than what we would have got with Matt Gaetz, even with the deplorable moral background that he has.
Yeah, and I want to discuss that with a little more depth with both of you, including her record on civil rights, LGBTQ rights, and other issues that are front and center at the DOJ, and which we know were also big campaign issues this cycle. So,
Pam Bondi.
Yeah, we get it. They're a little concerned because she's too good. Oh my Lord. This is why you guys lost the election and lost it in record fashion.
Right. And I think it's just, I mean, look where they're at. This is what they've succumbed to, the Democrats. They are literally panicking and saying out loud, we're in trouble. Why? Because she's too competent. Unlike Kamala Harris and many of the other Democratic figures that they've tried to shove down our throats over the last 6 months to a year, she is competent. And she, she's another person, has stood by Trump, was with him, one of his attorneys, 2020, when he was going through all of those other, bull crap indictments that he had. She's been right there for him, and she's good. She is real good.
Hey, it's interesting too. Congress is now wanting to interview Antony Blinken, Secretary of State, because they want to know who paid for the recent Trump derangement syndrome counseling that Congress received upon Donald Trump winning the election. This is a legitimate story. Antony Blinken approved counselors to come in and talk to people who could not deal with Trump winning. Who foot the bill? Congress wants to know, and he's refusing to talk right now. And it sucks because we're kind of in that dead period. Trump is the president, but Biden is a no-show. Kamala Harris is on a vacation. Just remember these 4 years as the worst. Remember these politicians as the worst. This is what the Democrats gave us. I mean, I couldn't see Democrats winning any serious elections for decades after this because the party is in shambles. It is destroyed. They need to blow it up and start all over again because they're not the voice of the people. And this is another example. So, do
we have video on that?
Of what? Antony Blinken? Yeah. No.
Well, so again, just for people listening, do you hear what Vic just said? So he just said that Antony Blinken is going to be questioned because
they're trying to question him.
Taxpayers' money, our money, mine, yours, paid for distraught, upset, and overly emotional woke leftists that need therapy because Trump won. That is, we're not making that up. We're not embellishing. We're not adding. That's exactly what is happening. So state legislator, being questioning him because of taxpayers' money being paid for therapy.
It's sad. It's all sad.
I read that and I was like, it's time to grow up, and it's time for the left to stop looking at the right and, all the gaslighting, and you don't like transgender and you don't like black and you don't want to protect people from the police. You don't want to do all of these things. And it's just this constant gaslighting over and over and over. And it's like, no, we're just maybe a little bit healthier upstairs than they are. And it just, they keep trying to do this power play game. And it's like, if you're not mentally unstable and if you don't have an identity crisis, then you are a racist, a transphobe, a sexist, a misogynist. I mean, it just goes on and on and on. And these people are getting therapy because Trump won. Grow up.
State Department therapy. But it's going to get worse because guess what? They're going to be losing their minds even more so. Now word is leaking out to all of our viewers and listeners that Donald Trump is now considering an executive order, and I absolutely love this, His executive order would be to lead the removal of all transgender members of the U.S. military.
Mhm.
Controversial or not, he's looking at removing all transgender military members.
Mhm.
That's what some sort defense sources are saying right now. I read that the first time. I was like, I don't know. I mean, I'd like to know why, and I guess it depends on the positions. And does it? If anybody's promoting woke, yeah, they should be removed, in my humble opinion.
Mhm.
But if you have transgenders who are actually involved in some sort of capacity or they're actually helping, I don't know. I mean, I just want to hear more about it.
So I tried to take as much of a dive into this as I could because again, it's going to be so controversial. It's going to be that Trump is a transphobe. It's going to be that all of his Nazi followers, us, are going to be transphobes and we don't have any compassion and yada, yada, yada.
We're still Nazis?
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Well, I think we're going to be Nazis forever.
Okay,
That's
that's okay. Awesome.
But yeah, so just so you guys know. But you're going to be hearing a lot of people try to cram this down our throats too. And I think, and I don't know because I didn't talk to him personally about this, but there's several reasons for him wanting to remove, whether it's people that are just now wanting to go into the military or existing positions that have been there for a while. And I think a lot of the reason is this: when you identify as a trans, I think a lot of what happens is the attention that you place in your life is usually on you, and you want I'm not going to say for all transgender people, but I think a lot of it is more than putting their time, effort, and emotion into their job. It's more about, this is how I identify. This is how you have to treat me. This is what we need to do. And the whole job becomes very, very gray. It's like, okay, if you're going to be a transgender, go in, do your job. We don't really need to discuss it. We don't need to talk about it. But I think a lot of what's happening is that the attention is drawn to them for different reasons than their ranking, their positions, and what they are wanting for the country. And so he is finding that has been the case. Again, it's not for everyone. It's not for every transgender military personnel, but things are happening that shouldn't be happening. And when it comes to the military, as we've said on this show a million times, there's no room for DEI. If you happen to be, anything that is, outside of the norm, great. And if you qualify for it and you're fit for the job, then awesome, then that's great. But we can't go around and pick and choose people, just based on the color of your skin, how you identify your gender, your sexuality, all of these things. We can't do that. We are, especially right now, guys, it's getting serious. And I think that Trump he's going through and he's trying to tighten things up. He sees what's happening. He sees that we're going to be on the defensive here quickly and sooner than I'd like to think. And we got to get things right. And we have to have people that are wanting to fight for our country be there for the right reasons. That's what I'm trying to say. Be there for the right reasons and not try to be in there trying to spread an ideology that has absolutely zero to do with defending our country and our flag.
It's going to be interesting to see where that goes, because a lot of executive orders could be coming when it comes to what he said. That's just one thing that he had never said before, but it came out. So we were just trying to cover it, make sure people understood some of those things that could be happening or that at least came out that defense sources are talking about. So I'll definitely, like I said, definitely be interested to see what he's trying to do with that. We already know what's happening with the border. One of the main things is the fact that he said he's going to remove illegal migrants, illegals from our country. And he's got land to do it in Texas. And he has told people, well, last week there were 8 blue state governors who came out and said, oh, we're not going to listen. And then you had mayors like the mayor of Denver saying, well, we're not going to allow that to happen. We're going to, yeah. Well, Tom Homan came out and said, go for it. Try me. He literally said, test me and watch what happens. Mm-hmm. Then Rand Paul came out yesterday and had a nice message for all these people, these governors and these city mayors who say that they're not going to listen to federal laws. Here's Rand Paul.
The mayor of Denver if he's going to resist federal law, which there's a long-standing history of the supremacy of federal law, if he's going to resist that, it will go all the way to the Supreme Court. And I would suspect that he would be removed from office. I don't know whether or not there'd be a criminal prosecution for someone resisting federal law, but he will lose. And people need to realize that what he is offering is a form of insurrection, where the states resist the federal government. Most people objected to that and rejected that long ago. So I think the mayor of Denver is on the wrong side of history, and really, I think will face legal ramifications if he doesn't obey the federal law. That the mayor
Go
of
for
Denver,
it. Go
if
for
he's
it.
going to resist federal
Go for
law,
it. We will
which
see
there's a
where that
long-standing
happens.
history
So
of the
anyway, we
Supreme-
can, Joe, okay. Yeah, nothing's, they're going to talk a good game. They'll do whatever they can to stop the president. But at the end of the day, they can't do it. They have no legal ground to do it.
Yeah.
They'll grandstand. They'll try to get the media hype to show, oh, we're sticking up. And then, oh, yeah, at the end of the day, they'll go away.
Mhm.
Nothing's going to happen.
Well-
Trump will win. He's going to win out. And I do believe illegals are going to be removed. I talked to somebody who just left the DEA yesterday, and he's in another branch. And he says they're gearing up and getting busy, or at least they think they're going to get busy because they're being called in to take care of this. This isn't just a campaign promise that we're not going to follow up on. Calls are already being made to people who are planning on going out and actually finding illegals. How it's going to happen, I'm not exactly sure yet, but it's going to happen.
Mhm. And you'll hear many blue city mayors, governors coming out, and they're saying, we are not going to go and take our hard working, whether it's Arizonians or wherever you live, we're not going to go and take these people that have been here for years, that are hardworking and, you know, contributing to society, and they've got children here that, you know, we're educating. You know, we are not going to allow Donald Trump to come in and take our people away. And again, Donald Trump never said that he wants to come in and take the hardworking person, whether you're here legally or illegally. What he said is he wants to start with criminals and terrorists. So you're going to hear that. They're going to make it try and sound like he's going to go in and start ripping people up, you know, out of their homes, you know, throw them on a bus, put them in a detainment camp and all of this other stuff. That's not what he's saying. He's being realistic about this. If we were literally to go and get every illegal citizen, or I'm sorry, illegal non-citizen out of this country, we would need another United States. I mean, we have that many people. We need major land. So
let's start with the million who the Biden administration harbored here who were criminals from other countries.
Yes.
There are at least 1 million. And I
so
hope
many.
That's where we need to start.
Yeah. So
but it hasn't stopped, Megan. That's the problem, is the fact that you still have other countries. We showed you the migrant caravan that was on its way last week, trying to come up through Mexico, from southern Mexico. And don't think for a second that the groups that want terror and heartache in this country are going to stop. Case in point, another instance. Over the weekend, we have video now that showed kids arriving with no guardians, all just kids, including this 2-year-old. Check this out and listen to the conversation was had with the 2-year-old, showing up unannounced with no parents. Just they're showing up with pieces of paper with, quote, parents' names on it.
Yeah.
Venezuela, mamá. Venezuela. ¿Sí? ¿Qué tantos años tienes?
How old are you?
Dos años.
She says 2.
¿No
2 years
venías con tu
old.
mamá y tu papá?
Did you come with your parent?
No.
No?
Venezuela. ¿Para dónde vas, mamá?
By yourself? And she said, yep.
¿Dónde están? Estados Unidos.
Yeah, 2-year-old being interviewed right now in regards to that's the new plot and the plan. They just didn't show up by themselves.
So
They're bringing them over. They've got names, and I'm sure these kids will be trafficked.
well, and if they don't play this and they don't show that 2-year-old girl's face all over the news, shame on you, because this is not the first and it's not the last. There are hundreds of thousands of children like this that are showing up unaccompanied with a piece of paper that say, so-and-so is supposed to be my sponsor, yada, yada, yada. And, so-and-so, Mickey and Minnie Mouse show up to take them to be their sponsors, and they're going to take such great care of them. And then these children are never seen again. I can't even.
Joe Biden's America, 2-year-old showing up alone.
Yeah, it's so gross and sickening to think of what this little girl's next steps are going to be, because they're not the people that are showing up to be their sponsors. They've got ulterior motives. They are not going to show up and be like, I'm here because I just want to take care of this 2-year-old girl. So-and-so asked me, and so I'm here to do it. That's not how this is going down. And they try to tell the American people that they've got this awesome protocol. They've got this vetting system, and they've got these sponsors that show up, and they're just great, great people, American people that show up. It's such bull. And I wish I could just reach through and grab that little girl and put her in a safe place, because under Biden's administration, they did not. So no telling what's going to happen.
Just remember, just remember what this administration brought us. This is part of it. And this is why the border was so key, so key. And Americans said, no, something needs to change. And it's another reason why Donald Trump won, and won in landslide fashion, and has the House and the Senate because of the border. And and don't even listen to idiots. They're flat out idiots out there trying to say that this is a good thing, because you're still going to have people say, oh, this is a good thing. Come to the border.
What is good?
But they're in the minority.
Just have an intelligent conversation with me and tell me why this is good. Why? There's no process here.
There's no answer.
And
that's why.
And no one has ever said, we've never said, Donald Trump has never said that we don't want people from other countries coming here, but we have to do it the right way. They
Legally.
have to be vetted. We can't let little children like this just show
Checks
up
and
knocking on our
balances.
door and just saying, okay, come on in, and then trusting Joe Schmo that shows up to sponsor her, to take care of her. That's not how this goes. And the gaslighting that goes along with it. I think that's what ticks me off the most, is that the left continues to say to us, you guys are just, whatever, transphobes, xenophobes, whatever it is, all these phobes, because we don't want this 2-year-old and others like her to come over our border. That's not what's happening. And what are we if we don't have laws? We're saying that we want to deport illegal aliens from our country.
Mm-hmm.
What is wrong with that? Are we based on law and order, or are we not?
It's going to happen. Do you know that the majority of Americans, and it's not even an argument anymore, Megan, and we shouldn't worry about the few that are trying to be the loud, the squeaky wheel getting the oil. The majority of Americans want deportation. The majority of Americans want this. This isn't a controversial issue. It's not anymore.
Mm-hmm.
At first, maybe, but not anymore. People are like, oh, I can go out and say this. Oh, yeah. People do like, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And now you see it's overwhelming. People don't want illegals here running our streets because they see what's going on. Thank God. And then just about an hour ago, Tom Homan, who is a hero, our Trump border czar, came out again this morning and warned sanctuary cities, try me. I will request the Justice Department authority to charge officials with obstruction and harboring if you refuse to hand over illegal border crossers who are actually in your custody. You will be charged. You will be sent to jail. And I guarantee that stops all the BS that you get, this liberal woke agenda, the DEI stuff. It'll stop it dead in its tracks immediately. And they know it. So thank you, Tom Homan, because the parents are back home. As Eric likes to say, the party's over. It's time to get back down to the business, get the discipline back in order so we can get the household in order so everybody can live in peace and harmony and we don't have utter chaos.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's just, and the whole thing is I think that most of us look at these things that are happening and these young people that are coming across the border. And I think most of us would say that we would want to take them. We would want to help them. And I mean, that's not the issue here. The issue is that it's just this vicious cycle that's occurring that, we can't, I mean, like that little girl, for instance, and I promise I'll quit talking about it because I can't stop thinking about her. But you heard what she said. She said her parents are here. So the problem that I have with that is if they truly are already here, it is so sick and so sad to think that they left their 2-year-old to come across with strangers, whoever, by herself to come. And so there's just no perfect way to do this. And so I just wish that if these awful things are going to happen, horrific things are going to happen, let's stay out of it. Like that, you know, let those things happen across the border where they started. Because we have our own problems here. And we can't save the world.
Yeah, national media is not going to cover those stories. Local media is not going to cover those stories. But the exact total on that from the CBS News poll, the YouGov poll, which I was referring to, 73% of Americans say that President Trump should prioritize the deportation of illegal immigrants in America. 73% of Americans, and that's through CBS News YouGov poll, which means it's about 83%. This is a massive issue. It's not even slightly bit controversial, which is why Donald Trump's going to do it. And thank God we have a real man, a true leader in the White House to take care of this, because it's big. You're in the majority, and you always have been.
And I think another point to make sure that everybody remembers is that as a country, America has always had people come here, whether it's legally, illegally. We've always allowed people to come here, but they've come and it hasn't been a complete bombardment of people at one time. We have to remember that in the last 4 years, there has been, it depends on who you ask. The left is going to say under 10 million. You ask the right, we're going to say up to 20 million illegals into our country in 4 years. So it's not the fact that we don't want to allow people to come here, but things like this, if you're going to allow 10 to 20 million people into your country within a 4-year period, you have to be ready for that. You have to allow the resources to be able to handle that many people, whether it's housing, whether it's medical, education, all of these things. So there's nothing wrong with saying, hey, we can't take all this at one time. There's just nothing wrong with that. And I think that's the important thing to remember, is that these people came in troves and we weren't ready for it. We just simply weren't ready for it. And the left, Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, sanctuary cities are like, oh, we're look at us, we're ready, we'll take you, this, that, and the other. And guess what? The sanctuary cities have their foot in their mouth right now. They don't know what to do.
Well, it's all going very, very well for Donald Trump right now. Everything very, very, very well. It couldn't go any better for him, and that means a good thing for our country. But I am also afraid. We have another report this morning that the U.S., and this is not Joe Biden, who doesn't even know the difference between the Bulls and the Celtics, his ice cream flavors, his clothing, that the United States is now considering giving nuclear weapons back to Ukraine via NATO. That they're doing everything they can to leave a massive mess for Donald Trump. Is it a World War III possibility? You have people who over on the Sunday shows who saying we're closer to nuclear war now than we ever have been because of what the United States is doing with Ukraine, which is why I've always been very careful about those who say we need to report or we need to protect Ukraine. Be careful, because right now they are doing anything and everything they possibly can to hurt the United States and to make sure that there is uneasy relations between Russia, Ukraine, the United States, and Iran.
Yeah.
It's happening.
It is happening.
I don't even know how bad it could get, but how else? Because the deep state's not going to rest. Everything is on Trump's side. Everything is on the conservative side right now. So what are you going to be able to do? You try to leave the biggest mess you possibly can for Donald Trump. How are they doing it? It doesn't end now. The battle is not over, and it never ends. Somehow, some way, whether it's in public or private, there are things that are going on right now. And yeah, as Todd said, the first ballistic missile has ever been shot. That's true. That happened as well.
And to your point, Vic, this administration, like you said, trying to leave a mess. for Donald Trump, trying to completely make the worst situations worse if you could do that. And you're going to have people on the left going, yeah, do it. Leave Donald Trump a mess. Go back and, let Zelensky go in and start launching missiles into Russia. Let's give Iran another $6 billion. You want to? I mean, so you're going to have the left saying this, but guess what? It's not just Trump's mess to clean up. It's your mess too. We're all living in this country. So if you think that Donald Trump is just the front man, you're dealing with crazy people. You're dealing with leaders of countries that literally get off on the fact of developing and talking about nuclear weapons. So you're not dealing with normal people. And that's why Donald Trump fought so hard to keep China in its place, North Korea in its place, Russia in its place, Iran, all of these people that at any given moment, at the snap of a finger, if they could, they would push a button. And so you have to remember that we're all sitting here hoping and praying that Donald Trump can go in and put these people back in their place again, because you're going to feel it.
Well, he's going to be able to do, and he's got a mandate. And we told you about the highest turnout of black vote for Donald Trump. African Americans got Donald Trump elected, which is great. Now African Americans can start to see some differences in their community and then decide. But if you still have your liberal leaders in your communities not allowing the success, then that's on you. You got to vote those people out as well. The reason I bring it up is, according to the latest YouGov poll as well, do you know that Trump's favorability is now up 20% with 18 to 29-year-olds? 57% of the young kids polled are all about Donald Trump. All about Donald Trump, despite the Taylor Swifts and all the other sleazy, and I'm not saying she is, just the sleazy narratives were out there, and the dancing on stage and all the nastiness and twerking at political events and the Diddy associations and the 18 to 29-year-olds. There is hope for our future, at least when they're all about Donald Trump going and doing what he needs to do. That gave me chills when I read that, because the young is not the age of the Democrats anymore. It's not. They're smart. These 18 to 29-year-olds get it.
Well, how are you going to relate best to someone that's actually going to show up, come out, be in your community, show up at a McDonald's, work, go around, shake hands, talk to people, or someone that doesn't go anywhere and just stands around and talks and laughs and talks with their hands? And I mean, I think that it was very clear, especially to a lot of younger people, what their choices were. And I hate to say it because I'm not a TikTok fan, but they did a lot to, whether they knew it or not, the left did a lot to help that age group make a decision, because they thought that they were doing her favors by making her more relatable, by showing her laughing and dancing and all of her different accents and this and that. And it was a complete turnoff to most people in that age bracket. And then you've got Trump out there, just being himself, whether it's, acting goofy, YMCA, and just showing up. And he was definitely just more relatable, Not
even relatable, too. Policy. 18, 29-year-olds are looking at it. They're seeing things. That whole thing just got me so excited. And I do see a shift. And we see it in California. I mean, you brought up to my attention this morning. Yes, Barron Trump given a huge, huge, huge credit for helping his generation understand, talk politics, get involved, and see what his dad was trying to do. Some counties, I mean, I don't know where this is going, but some counties in California and Illinois are trying to break apart from their states. Could it happen in the next 30, 40 years, in my opinion? Yeah, maybe, but I don't know how it would work. But there are reports that counties are trying to get away from their states in Illinois and in California. And you could understand that with Chicago being the way that it is and the way California being the way that it is. But demographics and election maps have changed in California back. I mean, much of California is now red outside of the super populated couple areas. I was looking at the map going, damn. Look at all the red in California.
Yep.
And it's the same way in Illinois, outside of just those little specks of blue, where the inner cities, where there's all the problems and all the crime, and it's all blue. I don't know. I don't know what's even possible to do, but I mean, it's all about money. If you can do it from a financial standpoint, maybe you can. I don't
Are
know.
you talking about
The
the
counties.
secession?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Trying to succeed from states.
Yeah. Well, I think that even more importantly than if they're going to be able to do it, because if they were to be able to secede from whether it's Illinois or Oregon, Idaho, California, wherever, it's a very long process and you have to have a lot of people behind you. But more importantly, someone like Gavin Newsom, for Gavin Newsom to come out and say, I hear you, the message has been heard. I think that that's huge. And maybe that's just the only shift that needs to happen. Maybe once the leaders of these blue cities and counties, once they realize that, hey, these people mean business, they're not going to up and move. You can't just tell them, hey, if you don't like it here anymore, move to a red state or move to a red county or city. That's not what they're saying. These people are saying, this is my home. You have ruined it. We're not leaving. We want our own. We want nothing to do with you. And so for someone like Gavin Newsom to say, okay, I don't care if you're a Bobby Kennedy, a Trump, a whoever supporter, I hear you. And so hopefully that can create change in itself. But I think it's super courageous, and I love that bold. I love that. I love these people coming together and saying, like, you know what, we're not doing this anymore.
Well, they're trying. I don't know what the opportunities legitimately are, but at least they're trying. And it's just so different. Things have changed in this country in the last 2 years. People are speaking up. They're having voices. We had massive wins in the election. And now you continue to try to push forward, as Glenn says from the chat line. California, Illinois, New York, all losing population to red states. They're going to lose representatives. And that's something else why this election was so important when it came to what happens with each state and the delegates. It's going to be a big issue when it comes to the repopulation. You're talking about Texas and Florida getting more when it comes to the Electoral College, and taking away from California, taking away from New York. Those are legitimate, taking away from Illinois. Those are legitimate things that are happening. And if you're a conservative, you're like, thank God that this is happening, because it's real. These are things that are actually happening. I love it. And what a team Trump has put together. I mean, Elon's now, he's looking into our fighter jets, how they've been designed poorly, how bureaucracy has affected the military, how we should have been producing so much more advanced technology without all the red tape. And I'm going, oh my God, this is amazing that he's doing this. And then of course we have fun with it because, MSNBC's worried. He put out a rumor that he might buy in MSNBC. And then Joe Rogan says, I'll take over Rachel Maddow's position.
Yeah.
I could do that. I could wear the same glasses she wears and tell the same lies. And then Elon coming back on Twitter going, you know what? I might hire you for that. I mean, how things have changed.
Yes.
And what's happening in this country. Now, we feel good right now, but I still think that there is the deep state that's going to try to do whatever they can. I know Trump is T-minus 50 days, 55 days, or was it January 20th?
Ooh.
It's coming in. I hope and pray protection of this country over everybody involved, because things are going so damn well right now.
They really
aren't they?
are. They are. And that's why, again, Donald, if you're listening, can you please just stay home until January 20th?
He's protected. He's got his
home.
force.
Don't go anywhere.
I'm talking about our country.
Well, I need him to be the leader of our country, and I need to make sure that he stays safe until we get him in there. It just has to happen. And so, as we've seen, people are nuts. People are crazy. They'll go to any extreme to try and take this man out. They've already tried twice. Don't forget about that. Just for all you people that we're getting so comfy and things are feeling so good right now, and he's got these awesome picks and things are happening. Don't forget that he's had 2 assassination attempts.
Well, Democrats, according to the newest Gallup poll as well, 76% of Democrats say that they are afraid of Donald Trump's victory. They're afraid. Oh my God. They're afraid. Holy crap. What's going to happen? But you are in good hands. We talked about the Attorney General, Pam Bondi. She also put out, she's gone to Twitter And she said that her first official action as Attorney General is going to be to investigate the Epstein Diddy list. Once again, let me repeat that. Now there's accountability in this country. Her first duty as Attorney General is going to be to investigate the Epstein Diddy list. She says, quote, I will work tirelessly with my office to prosecute to the fullest extent of the law. No one is above the law. I will release both the list immediately. People, there is a reason the Epstein list was not put out despite all the people who were hurt, despite a woman going to prison. We still didn't get the list.
Right.
Giselle went to prison and that had never happened in the history of this country. There is a reason. Don't think for a second Donald Trump doesn't know what's on that list. And he said he would release the list. And now Pam Bondi says, I will release both lists immediately. Transparency is the only way forward.
Yes. And so for someone that just asked a little while ago on the chat line about, they said, I wonder if Diddy's going to be released on bail.
I wonder if that's true or not. Oh, there's a list. It may be a parody account.
Oh, for the Epstein list?
For Pam Bondi.
Oh, okay.
I'm trying to find it.
Well, so, and remember too, you guys, that the list that was leaked, if
but
you
I'm
will,
looking at it. It looks legit.
Back in January, there's like 100 to 150 names. But what you have to remember before you have the left come at you and say Donald Trump's name's on it and so-and-so's name on it, the list that was released back in, I guess it was like January, it was just people that happened to have anything to do with Jeffrey Epstein, whether it was business, whether they went into his flight logs just to see if anybody was on his plane. It does not mean that those people went to Little St. James to do anything nefarious. So just want to make sure that if you guys now go back and you're like, wait a minute, I remember some list being released and there was like a ton of names on it that we all knew. Those aren't people that are necessarily being linked to the trafficking situation. Those are just people that had a link. So this will be interesting to see.
Mitch says that if the deep state doesn't die, we will run them off eventually. That the Trump victory has changed things.
Mm-hmm.
I've heard that come up as well. I think that came from Robert on the chat line as well at one point in time, which makes you wonder. Pam did say that they're going to hold Dr. Fauci accountable for any COVID crimes as well, which is fantastic. Pam also went after Letitia in New York. Letitia James for going after Trump in an unlawful manner. Yes, I will be prosecuting the far left.
Yes.
I'm like, okay, Pam, bring it on. We love it. Asking people, should we investigate the Secret Service for the failed assassination attempt on President Trump?
I think that there's going to be a lot of things that are going to be exposed. I think that they're going to start digging deep on a lot of different things. How long it'll take, who knows? And when we'll find out, again, who knows? But I love that Pam Bondi wants to get in here. And so she knows something. So if that's...
Well, Trump knows it. They all know it. And they're going to release it at some point. It's going to happen. Of course it's going to happen.
Well, the fact that it's at the top of her list, her to-do list, there's some things are going to go down. It's not going to look good. And I would be really surprised if they allow Diddy to get out on bail because they've denied him twice, $50 million package that he's offered. He said that you could give me put a anklet on him, keep him at home, and then he structured this whole thing, or his attorneys did, and you can monitor who comes to visit me. But he's been denied twice before because the judge is so afraid that he's going to manipulate witnesses, and he's already been found to have notes in his jail cell that is considered manipulating witnesses.
Well, it's a lot of things are coming to light now. Mm-hmm. Hey, and I get the horrible crimes there, but when it comes to Diddy and then it goes over to the Epstein list with politicians, that's why you need to do it. It's not to find the salacious details of what's happening with entertainment and people who have been maybe brutalized from a sexual standpoint in trafficking. This is also about politicians at the highest level and cover-ups, which is why you do investigate that sort of situation. But as we see, things are going very well for the Republican Party. Heck, you even have a New York City Democrat who came out this morning and wants firings after violent crimes are going untaken care of in New York, and people not being serious enough when it comes to prosecuting crime. I mean, Democrats going to the Republican side.
Yeah.
People, you're in the majority. This is the kind of thing that's happening. Hey, real quick, wanted to give a shout out to our advertisers, our sponsors. If you know of anybody who wants to jump in with us, we would be grateful for that. It takes a lot of money to do what we're doing. And we start that off with Complete Auto Body Repair. Once again, Complete Auto Body Repair, everything from A to Z with your vehicle. The phone number is 314-731-7999. A to Z, they get you in, they get you out. They don't nickel dime you. They even take care of your tires, all auto body repair. They also sell cars with JMBZ Motors. Plus, they own towing companies. They have lots of jobs. They're looking for good employees all the time because it is a massive company. CompleteAB.com. Let them know you appreciate them advertising on canceltheshow.com as well. David Gregory, newest Missouri State Senator. He is conservativeinjurylawyer.com, conservativeinjurylawyer.com, 314-619-4230, 314-619-4230. Any sort of personal injury, you'd call Dave. Before you sign with anybody, family, friends, whomever, let them know you need to give Dave a call and let him know that you're calling because of cancel this, and he'll make sure that you get 5% of what his company would get more onto your settlement. 314-619-4230. I've used him twice. Joe has used him twice. You're not going to find a better person to do it. Plus, Dave can also work in all 50 states. Give Dave a call, 314-619-4230. Wendy's in the Chesterfield Valley and also in Defiance. Work hard, play hard. Some of the best food you're going to find. Great times. People go back to Wendy's. Our good friends, Ben and Marla, of course, have been with us from the get-go. Check out Wendy's. You can check them out in the Chesterfield Valley. Also on South Highway 94 in Defiance, Missouri. How about Playoff Sports Bar and Grill as well out in O'Fallon, Missouri? One of the best places you can go to watch your sporting events, specifically NFL football, which is getting really good, especially for the next couple months as the season winds down. You can go watch whomever your favorite team is. Check out Playoffs Sports, Food, and Games. That is in the Triad Center West, O'Fallon, Missouri area. And if you're in there, tell them you appreciate them advertising with us here at canceltheshow.com. How about Tom James Clothing? Your special clothing when it comes to having your clothes perfectly made, perfectly tailored just for you. I think you might be shocked about what you can actually get for the price because it comes to selection, it comes to fit, lifetime adjustments on anything you buy. Contact Ben Lawler. That is 314-862-6500. Ben Lawler. That's B Lawler, B.Lawler, B.Lawyer, B.Lawler at TomJames.com. I get my stuff from there. The jacket that I'm wearing is from them. Love it, especially when it comes to the holiday season. Ben says, remember, things have changed. People are dressing up a little bit more now. Maybe it was the Trump victory. They're looking for a nice thing or two. It'd be a great gift for somebody else as well. If you're looking to get a gift for somebody, you can do that. Also, the real estate industry, a lot of people talking about it getting ready to change. You got to have your plan in place. Contact Megan Livingstone. You want to get everything ready with Megan when it comes to that. Megan.Livingstone@exprealty.com. Megan.Livingstone@exprealty.com. Her phone number is 314-249-1708, 314-249-1708. Get your plan in place. Megan is ready to do it. Work with somebody who's helped people already, that they understand the market, that they've been here for decades. That's Megan Livingstone. Once again, Megan.Livingstone@exprealty.com. And of course, we think WeQuipUSA.com, WeQuipUSA.com. That's the website where they're taking care of you when it comes to rental. You can go on there, rent items from other people, and you can also put items up for renting as well. And finally, our friend Jonathan Heslip and his company's Rockwood Charcoal, the best charcoal anywhere in America, and it's made in Missouri. The best charcoal in the world comes from the state of Missouri. It's because of our natural habitat here, believe it or not. Who would have thought that that would be the case? Jonathan Heslip and Rockwood taking care of business, what they do all the time. And we appreciate Jonathan supporting conservative causes all throughout the Missouri area. Plus Capriotti's, the sandwich shop, one of the best sandwich shops you're going to find. They're in Rock Hill right now. Go in, tell Jonathan you appreciate him advertising with canceltheshow.com. They have the Wagyu beef. They roast turkeys overnight. They slice them and dice them in the morning for some of the best sandwiches you're going to find. Plus, on top of it all, what you need to do is check out their catering. It's one of the best catering baskets I've seen. no matter where you're going from a work standpoint, everything that's going on, you need to check out Capriati's. And we appreciate Jonathan and his support here with cancelthisshow.com. What else do we need to do? Do we miss anything? Do we have other updates? Your birthday was yesterday, of course.
So was Meg's.
And that's right.
Saturday.
The other Megan Saturdays.
Happy birthday, Megan.
You guys back to back on your birthdays. From that standpoint, anything else?
I don't think so. I think we covered everything. What about you, Joe?
Yeah, I think we got everything.
All right. Sounds good. We appreciate it, guys. We'll be back again tomorrow. We'll see what happens with this day. Enjoy. Be good to people, but also at the same point in time, just know you're in the majority when it comes to the politics from this standpoint. And don't let anybody try to convince you that what you know is right and good and holy is wrong, because for too long that has happened in this country.
Yes.
For Projo and Megan Marie Moret, I'm Vic Faust. Guys, have an awesome day. Check out our ad right now. If anybody knows anybody that wants to associate with us or just donate to us, cancelthisshow.com, click on donate, or email me, vic@cancelthisshow.com. We appreciate you guys. Have an awesome day. Are you looking to elevate your brand's presence? Partner with Cancel This Show with myself, Vic Faust, and my co-host,
Megan Marie. We're ranked in the top 10% globally.
Our show has reached over 1.68 million engaged listeners, and we continue to grow monthly.
Podcasting is one of the best ways to advertise
because it offers a highly engaged audience, SEO-targeted reach,
and the ability to build a personal connection with listeners.
Dive into the dynamic world of cancel culture, politics, all current events, and the latest news with us.
It's the American taxpayers that are having to pay for all of this monkey business left and right.
Look at all of these pictures. They are using AI to generate fake photos, and we show you them. And Joe will show, we got a video of one, we've got certain pictures.
They were hiding the fact and trying to lie to the American people for months that Joe Biden was doing well.
This is Kamala. This is Joe Biden. It's Barack Obama. It's Jake Sullivan, all together doing anything and everything they can to strike back at Donald Trump because he continues to kick their ass.
If that doesn't make you mad enough to vote one way or another in this election, nothing will do it.
Get your company's voice heard, your brand recognized,
and the exposure you deserve.
Does your brand align with our mission?
Let's talk and make an impact together.